All right, guys, so it is 12 o'clock. You know, one of my pet peeves is that I have to get started on time. I have to start on time. I have to end on time. Mostly because I respect everybody's time. But if I'm being honest with you, it's also, I respect my own time as well. So that's why I do it. Welcome, guys. It's team meeting March 9th, 2021. Benny, you're sideways. Yeah, I see that you're doing that too. Let's do the COVID update. Let's dial into that. So COVID update, things are getting better. Because I have always been so confused, I took some time to go and figure out their what I say, their very inefficient color coding system. So for whatever reason, the purple tier is the worst. The red tier is better. The orange tier is even better. And then they go with yellow. Yellow is supposed to be like, the best of the tiers. I think that they should have talked to me first, because I would have gone to like a legit stoplight, red, yellow, green, green being the best. Mary Gluck, where are you at? You in your closet? Are those your shoes in the background?
Shoes?
I can't tell what's in the background. I think it looks like a closet of shoes. Oh, those aren't shoes. Once you got closer, they didn't look like shoes anymore.
You mean the Lego?
I don't know. I don't know.
They're
Anyways, guys.
Legos.
Oh, those are Legos? Lego shoes? Lego my shoes? The other title person's not here, so I have to actually crack the jokes with you, Mary.
Shucks. No, I want him here.
Comedy relief isn't here. Okay, so here's the tier, guys. It doesn't really affect us in what we're doing. I just like to make sure that you guys are stayed up to date. Not that it just isn't everywhere, all over the place anyways, but we are on the cusp of getting out of tier 1 and going into red. Again, that just sounds worse, but that's a good thing. So we're moving on the right track. So the good thing is about the whole vaccination, Dale hasn't died. So he took both doses of the vaccination, and he's been my test. So I was totally against doing a vaccination until Dale got it. And I'm like, okay, as long as you stay alive and you don't turn into, Sloth from the Goonies, then I will feel comfortable with taking it as well. So the fact that neither of those has happened is a good sign. And so I guess my professional opinion is that it's safe to take that for what it's worth. So that's where it is. Now, I have some news to break, and it's, we have a new productivity coach that's starting next week. We are not going to debut his name yet, but he's coming on board next week. He is runs a team. He does have extensive background, not just in real estate, but the luxury space of real estate. So we'll be announcing and introducing him next week but for those of you that are new agents or newer agents who are in the coaching program, we're bringing on a really great person to really focus on helping you succeed. And for those people that know who this is, me being, of course, one of them, they will vouch that this is a really great move, great talent to add to the team. So there's your hook for next team meeting. Stay tuned, because we'll be introducing him to the next team meeting. Sky's not here. She actually went to Pennsylvania, and apparently her sister getting married is more important than being here locally to talk tech. So I want to talk a little bit about technology with you guys today, and really what I want to focus on. If you guys don't tell, I put a lot of time and effort into these meetings, so you guys can actually see what it is that we're doing, as long as I'm sharing my screen. Am I sharing my screen, Lindsay?
Yes.
Okay. Starting next week, we are going to kick off a 66, amongst other things. We got a lot of things that are coming into play next week to help you guys succeed. In fact, at the end of the stuff that we normally go through, I'm going to share with you Brett's 10 truths of a sales professional. So stay tuned for that. But starting next week, amongst other things, we're launching our 66-day command challenge. I don't think it's any secret of my feeling on where the world is as far as technology. And I actually look at our industry as not even remotely close to utilizing even a fraction of what the power you could do from a digital standpoint. So we're kicking off our 60-day command challenge. Would love everyone to participate, because if you only do one of the things a day, then in 66 days, you're going to have a fully operational digital platform. And then Sky's going to be meeting with everybody on Thursdays to do some ancillary training to go on top of that, but also be available to you guys if you guys get stuck on some of these challenges, so that we can work to get you guys dialing in. Who here at the end of 66 days would love to have a technology platform that can generate you guys leads and nurture leads and just, yeah. So Dale, I'm working on yours. So Dale's is going to be the guinea pig.
I don't mind being the guinea pig.
I know, that's why I did it. I thought maybe I should just use mine, but seeing how, if for those of you guys that know me, I have no desire to go back and sell houses. It didn't make any much sense to set mine up. Okay, so that's it with that. Let's go over to the next one. Happy birthdays. So at the beginning of the month, we're going to go and tell you about everybody's birthday in the month. Then after that, we're going to go on to the week. So March 12th is Jessica On's birthday. I don't think that she's on here, but I want to recognize everybody's birthdays in the forthcoming week, so that everybody can text, email, harass on Facebook on the birthdays. So happy birthday, Jessica On. Now we get into the fun part, the congratulations. These are all the transactions that we've closed just since last meeting. Okay, so I always talk about the value of being in an office that actually does production. You want to, the worst thing somebody can do to their business is go to an office that doesn't do anything, because it just pulls them down. So congratulations to Lee Wang, Lionel Franklin, Miles Zhao, Mary Denley, Kareem Waba, Elizabeth Coe, Ava Wang, Lily Pham, Robert Mack, Josh Guo, Theo Vasquez, Fred Said, Lionel Franklin, I think again, yeah, LP, Telp 2 times, and Luis D. Gonzini. Congratulations. It's not easy selling deals in a low inventory market, and we are going to be going over the numbers here. So we'll talk about that. But this is impressive by any means of the word. I mean, this many transactions closed in the environment that we're in. There's no doubt that we have the best agents in our marketplace, and then some. Now we're going into just listed. So as true to form, Dale, I'm sure because you went to bed last night and you woke up this morning that you probably have some sort of coming soon announcement that you want to share.
Well, 125 West Shore Loop, 4 bedrooms, 2.5 baths in Woodbridge. Hot property. There's not a single 4-bedroom in Woodbridge available currently, and there are only 11 homes in Woodbridge for sale. So that will be coming on April 1. So
that's the one you own, right?
Mind.
That's
Huh?
your
that's
the one that you remodeled.
Yes, and then we have 139 Falcon Ridge coming on April 1 as well, or maybe sooner, and that's in the Talise tract in Portola Springs. 4 bedrooms, 2.5 baths, and that's going to be around $1.1 million. So that I'm going to talk to the seller today. He had talked about putting it on at the end of the month, but I'm going to suggest that we put it on sooner. That's practically a brand new home.
Wow. Surprised you haven't sold them yet, even though they're not on the market.
Well, I'm not getting anybody into them right now, Brett.
Oh,
I'm waiting.
Yeah. In this market, people make offers unseen all the time.
They do.
Okay, so let's go through the just listed. I think for starting next week, guys, I'll probably have a coming soon section. So we'll notify everybody, remind everybody via email, and let them know that we'll have some time that's allocated just to talk about coming soon property, so you can kind of pitch that. If you want to get us the details to the property beforehand, we can put some slides together as well. There's nothing wrong with pre-selling a property internally before it comes onto the market. I'm just saying, there's nothing wrong with that. That's part of the reason why people hire real estate agents, is for the relationships that they have. That's why people line up to hire Dale, because between him and Mary Guac, I know everybody in South Orange County. Okay, so just listed. We've got Christian Thorodarnius. I hope I said that. I probably said that so wrong. I apologize. But that's out in Oceanside. I spent a good amount of time when I was in the Marines in Oceanside. Oceanside's not what it is now, what it was then. It's better now. But anyways, Oceanside, 5-bedroom, 4-bath, 700,000. If you have anyone, reach out to Christian. Robert Mack took this 2-bedroom, 2-bath condo in Irvine, 951,000.
I think that price has to be wrong. I think that price is wrong.
Or someone really is aggressive.
That thing should be around 4 maybe.
It's probably
It could be a
450,
4. It's
something like
probably a
that.
4.
451.
Yeah,
There, I just did a price adjustment for him.
there you go.
Just like that.
Is that legal, Dale?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, was that Jeff? You decided to bless your presence with us? I don't see your picture, so.
No, are you
Is that
talking about
Gibson?
me?
Oh, no, it was Ben. I thought
Yeah.
you sounded like Jeff Gibson there for a second.
Oh, that sounds
Lawrence
dangerous.
is here. Lawrence is here with his picture, but Jeff's not here. We're just not that important to you guys anymore, I guess. Zing!
I've
Brett?
decided to take I use these as I can walk around outside, get some vitamin D, listen to the meeting. That's how I use these.
Hey, Brett, Mary
Yeah.
Walker.
Mary.
On Robert Max 127 Tarraco, the price is $518,800.
Wow. Okay. Okay, so I need to start putting out disclosures at the beginning of these just listed things, saying that the information is deemed accurate but not guaranteed. So thanks, Mary.
Welcome.
The team. So Michael May, he has this one in Irvine. Allegedly, it's 951,000. He also has this one also in Irvine at 775,000. He's a good example of what I'm going to talk to you guys about after this meeting, about the 10 truths of a sales professional. And so if you have anyone in Irvine, he has a few active listings that just came onto the market. Catalina just listed in Vista, California. Where is Vista, California? Anyone know where Vista, California is? I have no idea.
It's in San Diego County. It's a retirement community.
Of course, Dale knows where it is. Shouldn't even have asked everyone, just ask Dale. So 374.9, 3-bedroom, 2-bath. You're going over here into Elizabeth Coe's listing. She does a lot in Laguna Woods. 2-bedroom, 2-bath for 230, 229.5. And then last but not least, Gin Row, all the way up in Burbank. So 726 East Palm Avenue, 3-bedroom, 3-bath. So if you have anyone who wants to go up into LA, up into Burbank, there's a property right here. So anyone want to say anything about anything that we missed? Listings? Ben, don't you have one coming up? I thought you and I just talked about one that you have coming up.
I'm gonna have one in University Park. It's a 4-bedroom, 2.5. No, actually now it's a 2 3/4 bath. He changed it up. It's completely remodeled. It's in the Parkside community. The lot is about almost 5,000 square feet. And like I said, it's super dialed in. It's got a bedroom on the first floor. The backyard is all done up. And we're gonna list it for, it's gonna be off market. So if you want it, I'll post some photos in a little bit, maybe in the next team meeting, but it's gonna be listed for 1.5 million.
Wow.
Awesome. Awesome. Anyone else have anything that's
2,400
coming
square
soon?
feet, sorry.
We have a 3-bedroom, 2-bath coming up in Irvine Groves on Tiger. That's at Culver and Walnut. My client is getting rid of the tenant right now, so I haven't seen it, but Irvine Groves is probably one of the cheapest per square foot areas in all of Irvine. So I'll keep you updated on it as it comes up. We're looking to put it on in about a month on Tiger.
Cool. All right, guys. So when we're going to go over to the state of the market here real soon, but it's really important that you guys take notes of this, because this could really be the difference of you getting a deal done and not getting a deal done, having that type of relationship in the office. I talk about it a lot, but you know, we just talked about 3 properties that are going to be coming on in our marketplace that you guys now have the inside track on. So take that information and run with it. Okay, so state of the market. Each week, I'm going over the state of the market to help you guys stay in tune to be able to help counsel your agents. So let's talk. You guys can see the new graphics. See, we're top notch here. State of the market. I feel it's important that I say that this information is deemed accurate, but not guaranteed. I did put this together, but and I did feel like I double checked it, but here's where we're at. New listings. So this was updated just before about an hour ago. So I did it through InfoSparks. So new listings in Orange County, just over 2,800, down 10.4% across Orange County, but yet in Irvine, 331 new listings. And this is for last month, right? So remember how we talk about InfoSparks, how it's dynamic data. So it goes as people start updating the information. So we're going to see some probably major swings from Orange County. Irvine, when you start breaking things down into the local municipalities, they don't see as many drastic changes from the 1st to the 15th. But you can see that in Orange County, new listings are down 11%, whereas Irvine is up 11%. So this is one of the reasons why it's extremely important to be that area expert, which I'm going to be talking to you guys about after this. Active listings, 4,174 in Orange County, down 25%. As far as Irvine, we're down at 496, down 18.2%. Pending sales, down 1,727 in Orange County, down 23%. In Irvine, down 195, which is down 11%. Closed sales, this is where we're kind of hitting into the green, is closed sales in Orange County, 2,283, up 11.6%. In Irvine, closed 233, up 21.5. So interestingly, when you start seeing that we're getting more inventory on the market, it's still not catching up with the level of demand. So I think what we're seeing here from an Irvine perspective, from a very local level, that's increasing our spread. So that's good. Days on market. Oops. Days on market in Orange County is 8. 8. Like you can't even get into your dentist in 8 days, but you can go out and buy a house, or you can sell a house in 8 days. So down 57.1%. Irvine, it's almost double that, 14 days. But you know, when you start looking at pricing, then we're actually, I think the prices are going to be slightly off as well. I might have to switch over to this, but down 54.8%. So things are selling in half the time they do year over year. Month supply, I mean, there's really no difference between having something sold in 1.5 days versus 2 days. It all kind of depends on whether you go, you know, you want to judge it at lunchtime or at dinner time. But as you can look at this, if no new homes come onto the market, and last month in Orange County, 2,830 did, if no new homes came onto the market, in 1.5 months, 1.7 months, we've completely depleted our inventory. Like, that's huge. That's kind of a big deal. Average sales price, you know what, guys, let me switch over into infographics real quick, because I feel that I have those numbers. It's a good thing I'm going to start doing these disclosures, because I feel that those numbers aren't exactly 100%. So this will give you guys an insight of what I do fairly often. I think it's important that from a leadership perspective that we need to know the market, but it's also important for you guys from an agent's perspective, that you guys need to know the market as well. So when I go into InfoSparks, I always pull up Orange County right here, and then I pull up Irvine right here, and then I go through these tabs. And the tabs that I was looking at the sales price, I look at the median first. So you can look here in Orange County, the average sales price, median sales price is 825,000, up almost 11%. But in Irvine, the median sales price is 892,000, up 0.6. So you have a double-digit increase in the median sales price in Orange County, but in Irvine, somewhat plateaued. You know, there's a lot of different ways that you can look into that, but year over year, 892, 0.6%, not even 1 point. That's interesting. But the average sales price paints a whole different picture. So in Orange County, your average sales price is 1.1159, up 18.4%. Whereas in Irvine, you know, you're 1.16. I remember back in, probably had to be July, when I was looking at Orange County versus Irvine, and it was like the median sales price in Orange County was like 750, and the median sales price in Irvine was 850. So there was $100,000 spread. But now when you look at it, that spread isn't as big as it once was. Well, you have the 1 million mark, so it's still like a $50,000 spread, but it's interesting to see what kind of goes on with that. Then the other thing I want to look at, that I want to show you guys, is the percentage of the original sales price. It's not uncommon that when you're working with a buyer, that it's like, look, you need to have, not only do you have to be fully qualified, have your down payment, but you have to have liquidity to come in 10, 20, 30, you know, in Dale Chima's point of view, 100 grand over value, right? Just to pay down that difference, just to buy a home. But the numbers on the grand scale says something much different. It shows that this is the original list price. So Orange County homes are selling for 99.9% of list price, meaning, I mean, this is 2% more than what it was a year ago. Things were selling at 98%. If we're up 2%, that means that things a year ago were selling at 98% of list price. Still a seller's market. But what this is telling us is it gives us an idea of when you get those questions from buyers, like how much more would I have to come in with? You know, my go-to answer with that is you have to come in to where you feel comfortable that if you lose out to it, that's okay, because you weren't going to spend any more anyways. But with 2 points on, you know, it's up 2 points. So, you know, you have to take that in consideration with what things are selling at. But what this is showing us in Irvine, look, things are still selling. Not everything is selling at above list price if you price it right. Now, granted, you price things 20% below, you're going to sell it, you know, really high, which nobody's going to do. But this kind of gives you an idea of where things are at. In a buyer's market, this is going to be a minus number. You guys can see that? Good. All right, so let me get back. So does anyone have any questions in regards to the market data? Anyone have any comments? Anyone want to share their insights to what we're doing on here? I know I'm pretty thorough. I also wanted to show you guys, I think I'm still logged in. Let me find it. There's another tool that you guys can use called Quick Stats. I think it's OC Quick Stats. Let me just log in real quick. And this is why I always try to have everything ready for you guys, because it always takes so dang long when you're on live to do this. Okay, so over here, when you log into your MLS, you have this OC Fast Stats, Anyone else use this but me? I think that means I'm the only one who uses it. So this takes the login from the OC Realtors. It doesn't take your MLS login. But here's the cool thing. This is a report, so you can just really zoom in. Let's go over here into Irvine. And it zooms in, then you can break it down by area. So if we wanted to look and see what Turtle Rock is doing, it's going to generate you and auto-generate you a report for last month and the year to date, and it breaks it down on the lower municipality level. So this is something that you guys can use for your landing pages when you guys start deploying a digital strategy. And I'm going to tie into a little bit about this on the next segment, but people want information. People don't want information about California, but if you live in Turtle Rock, you want information on Turtle Rock. If you don't live in Turtle Rock, you could care less. If you live in Great Park and you don't live in Turtle Rock, you really don't care much about what's going on in Turtle Rock unless that's where you're going to move to, right? But this gives you the ability to really break things down and dial in to what's going on in the market instead of just doing your own research. Now, the way that I use InfoSparks is that I like InfoSparks because it's dynamic numbers, but I also like it because you can actually draw out a specific area as opposed to just a neighborhood. You can zoom in or zoom out as much as you want. And it breaks down the data directly from the MLS. So these are tools that everybody should use. And these are tools that you can use as what's called lead magnets, to where you can exchange information for an email. You know, for those of you that are deploying any type of social media lead generation, you can go in there with a market report, and then you can say something like, hey, click on the button below to download, you know, last month's stats compared to year on year. And then they put in their, they trade their email, they trade their contact information for the report. That just kind of gives you guys an idea of how you can utilize these to generate leads. Now, let me find out where my tabs are with this.
Brett, I have a quick question.
Okay, what's up, Natalie?
What's the difference between the median sales price and the average sales price?
It's a great question. That is a great question. Let me come back over to here. So say like we have 100 sales. Actually, let me just use a real world. Let me go back over to here. Let me go to my deemed accurate information, but it's not. Okay, so we have sales of 233, right, in Irvine last month. The median would be the sales price of what number 116 would be. So if you take the whole sales, you go to the middle sale, and what that sold for, it sold for the median sales price. Whereas the average, if you take all of the sales volume of the 233, you add all the sales volume together and you divide that by 233, that gives you the average. The reason why I always go up, I focus more on the median than the average, is because in Orange County in Southern California, you can have a property that sells for 10 million bucks that just totally throws off the numbers, right? So the median gives you, in my opinion, a more accurate assessment of what prices are doing.
Okay, perfect.
Would you agree with that? Dale, would you agree with that definition?
I absolutely would. Absolutely.
I always have Dale check my stuff. So, okay, so let's go on to this. All right, guys. So here's the thing. I have, well, let me expand my screen so you guys can see all of it. I was thinking today, what am I going to talk about on the team meeting? Right? I want to bring you guys value so you guys don't just show up and realize that you just wasted an hour of your day. I don't ever want that to happen. So that's why I want to break down the market stats for you guys. This is something that you can go to your clients and you guys can share that with them. Plus, we have a ton of experience on these calls. So just because I look at numbers different one way, you know, we have a lot of experience on these calls that may look at them a different way. So you get different points of view. But I came up when I was thinking about this, and I wanted to come up with the 10 truths of a sales professional. Now the 10, notice I didn't say real estate sales professional. I said the 10 truths of a sales professional, because make no mistake, we get compensated when a house sells and not before, we are sales professionals, right? So I came up with this, but the first rule I want to come up with when it comes to real estate, the game of real estate is now and always will be taking listings. Period, exclamation point, underline, highlight. The game is always taking listings. Now, over the last 10 years, the game seems to be a little bit changed. Dale, do you remember? Of course, Dale remembers this. There was a time, it happened about when I got into the business 23 years ago. So, Dale was probably on the board and probably had something to do with it. There was no such thing as buyer representation. There was only listing representation. If there was two agents to it, if there was two agents to a transaction, they both represented the best interests of the seller, right?
Yeah, they were sub-agents of the seller.
Sub-agents of the seller. So it wasn't until about what, Dale, 25 years ago-ish?
Something like that.
The whole buyer agency came about. So the game of real estate is now and always will be taking listings because number one, if you're working with a buyer and you have nothing to sell them, how good is that buyer, right? That's why listing agents control the market. So in the last decade, in California and in other places, you've been able to make a really, really good living at just representing buyers. Now, you're trading a lot of time for that. And for those agents that created a buyer business, look, the checks cash all the same. But when you're in a market like this, where we're really tight on inventory, you need to really focus on taking listings. So you guys, I'm a broken record on that. So here's Brett's 10 truths to real estate sales professionals. And I'd love it for you guys to chime in on it. The difference between a high producing agent or a high producing sales professional and a no producing sales professional or a low producing sales professional is everything in between. It's your systems, it's your skills, it's your technology, it's who you align with, right? So I talk to a lot of, as you guys know, I talk to a lot of outside real estate agents a lot. Everybody has a goal of closing 8 to 10 transactions or more a year. Now, just so you know, if you're closing more than 8 transactions at the average sales price in Orange County, you are in the top 10% of real estate agents in the MLS. So if you remove all the people who didn't do a transaction in the last 12 months, you have to close at least 1 transaction a month in order to be in that top 10%. So the difference in that, though, is everything that you do, right? Everybody has the same 24 hours, 7 days a week, except Dale. Somehow he figured out to get an 8th day and things. But everybody has the same 24 hours, 7 days a week to work. But yet there are agents in our office who are doing 2 times, 3 times, 4 times the average. And it's not because they're, they have a special deal with God in regards to time. It has everything with the way that they've implemented their systems and the activities that they do. One would probably agree with me, if you take a high producer and you model everything they do, you model the activities, except Dale, because he's gotten to the point where he just goes to bed and wakes up at night. You can't model Dale. You got to model Dale 35 years ago. But if you do the same thing that top producers do, if you model your business over what top producers do, chances are you're going to get similar results as the top producers do. But what is it that top producers have that new agents don't have, though? Anyone want to chime in on that? Skills. Experience, right? That's the difference. So that leads into the second one. The 2 most important skills in sales. Notice I didn't just say real estate sales. I just said in sales. This is true with all the vendors. This is true with Lawrence. This is true with Jeff. This is true with Mary. This is true with Benny. The 2 most important skills are the ability to generate leads and then the ability to convert those leads. That's it. Yes, it's important to show property. Yes, it's important to be cordial. Yes, it's important to, there's a lot. Yes, it's important to be there on your inspection. But nothing happens until you guys have a lead and you convert that lead into a sale or into a client. So when we talk about the 80-20 principle, 80% of your time needs to focus on generating leads and focus on increasing your skill set so you can convert at a higher level. Anyone disagree with that? Okay, number 3, trying to be everything to everybody everywhere doesn't scale. Trying to be everything to everybody everywhere doesn't scale. But yet I find a lot of real estate agents, on Tuesday, they're up in Los Angeles. On Wednesday, they're in San Diego. They go up into the Inland Empire. They're taking the deals wherever they can get it. Look, where you don't have any deals, yeah, I mean, you need to take what you can get and you need to expand your area. But if you're going to take time, effort, and resources, and you're going to build out a scalable business, you guys hear me joke about Dale all the time about Irvine and how I make fun of him when he, surprised that he takes outside the area. When you grow your sphere of influence, you don't get to dictate where those come from. But if you're going to put time, effort, and resources in building out a business, you need to focus on a primary market area, right? You can't be the area expert of all of California. That's a generalist. So that leads into the next one. So you can't be everything to everyone everywhere. You need to be a specialist. You need to focus on an area. You need to niche down, right? Nancy and I talk about this all the time, niching down. And she does a lot of her business in her specialty. Understand who your ideal client avatar is. Anyone ever heard the term ideal client avatar? Anyone ever hear that? Ben's heard it. Okay, an ideal client avatar is simply your ideal client. Now, your ideal client, being that we're in real estate, there's 2 components that they have to have. They gotta either they gotta own a home. If you're gonna go after listings, you want to talk to people who actually own real estate. There's no point in actually trying to sell somebody's house if they don't own one. It's actually illegal. You hear that about that, tenants. But number 2 is they've got to be in your primary market area. Anyone here of a service area, primary market area? When it comes to a traditional brick and mortar business, it's the area in which you can provide services in a reasonable amount of time, right? The hardest thing about Amazon, if you guys have heard about this, the hardest thing about delivery is the last mile. Getting things to point A to B, getting things from California to Texas is the easy part. It's getting it into that last mile. But when I talk about identifying, you have to identify a primary market area. You look at some of our top agents, Dale, he focused on Irvine 35 years ago when there was one orange tree. Michael May, he focuses on the northern part of Irvine. Nancy, she niches down. She does traditional business, but she focuses a lot on probates. So a primary market area is typically a geographic area. And when I talk about it, it's more of because of our density here in Southern California. When I lived in Utah, I couldn't just focus on 3 to 5 mile area radius. Number 1, the price was really, really low. My average commission was like $3,000. And the density of the area, I couldn't do a 3 to 5 mile area because the number of transactions being done did not support the level I was doing. My best year, I closed 57 transactions. I couldn't do that if I just stuck to a 3 to 5 mile radius. But when you come into Irvine, and we have 496 listings, and we did 233 closed sales in 1 month. I mean, how many deals do you have to do each month? If you did 1 transaction in Irvine, and all of Irvine doesn't span more than 5 miles, and we're centrally located. So if you drew a 5 mile, one of the good things that Dale did when he opened this office, he put us right dab center into Irvine. So you go 3 miles in each direction, you've hit the expansion. So we had 233 deals. Now, technically, we don't have enough agents in our office that everyone closed 1 deal in Irvine that we would be able to do that. But there's enough business out there that you could do 1 transaction. If you're doing 1 transaction with a median sales price, I think it was almost 900,000. your gross commission income is somewhere between $25,000 and $30,000. Come on, guys, how many do you need to do in order to really, you're doing one a month. Let's say you take 2 months off of the year, which agents do. They do take 2 months off of the year. But let's say that you're doing a 10-month work cycle, and you're doing 10 deals a year at the median sales price of $900,000, and you're getting paid a $30,000 check. That's a $300,000 gross commission income. So my question to you guys, is it possible that if you just focused on one area, in most areas, is there enough business to become the expert of an area and make a good living? Yeah, we have agents that do that. Ben and his mom kills the University Park area. Ben, do you really have to go outside of University Park?
No, on an average year, there's a total of about 75 or 80 transactions just in that community.
Yeah. And if you got 100% of that, that'd be great. 50% is okay. But I mean, even if you just got 10% of that whole market share, which I think you guys probably do.
Yeah.
You guys are, I mean, you don't need to go and travel to Los Angeles. Right? Now, wanting to service your client is a whole different conversation than needing to go out there for business. Okay, let's go back here. You must focus on your primary market area. Look, guys, I say that find out where you live, draw a circle of 3 to 5 miles an area. Typically, you're going to have anywhere between 300 to 500 homes that are for sale on the market, and that's your primary market area. Understand the modern consumer's journey. Anyone know what the modern consumer journey is? This is really kind of diving into the whole digital side of things. Now, I want you guys to think about this. For those of us that have been in the business for, couple decades, we used to be the gatekeepers of information. We used to be that. About 15 years ago, Zillow came in, they flipped that on its head, and it changed things, I think, for the better. Raise your hand if you've ever pulled up to a driveway of a house and you Googled the address. Anyone ever do that? Yeah, mostly all of us have. But here's the thing, is that we have access to the MLS. We have access to all the information we can have about that property, but yet if we're pulling up to a side of a house and we're Googling the property instead of going into the MLS, what does that tell you that the consumer is going to do? Now, who here, before you buy anything, Googles it? Shoes, cars, restaurants, okay? Now, I bring this up because that's the consumer journey, right? There's a point in time, and I talk to this about real estate agents all the time. We launched a recruiting website, and we take being transparent to a whole new level because that's the culture that we live in. That's the consumer's journey. Who here has gone to a website wanting to find out what the price is, and that the website's only trying to push you to an appointment, and you know that they're just trying to get you on the phone so they can hard sell you? Who here makes that appointment? Not many people. So the consumer journey right now, there's a point in time where somebody is ready, willing, and able to make a decision. And there's a point in time where they're going to start to think about it. And there's that gap period that I call the discovery period, that those are the answers. Those are all the common questions that we all get from buyers and sellers. Those are all the questions that they're looking to get answered. And do you think that they're going to start building a relationship online with somebody who provides information? Or do you think that they're going to willingly get hard sold off of everyone who's not providing that information? Right? So understanding the modern consumer journey, you have to get into the way that you transact and what most people transact. And if you don't have information, if you're not deploying information online, here's the thing, is that if you're not online in this day and age, you're near extinction, because we're only getting more and more ingrained and COVID only helped that, right? The lockdowns only helped that. It really showed how vulnerable our industry has been when it comes to technology. Remember the days when all you did is just have to love to hate Zillow? It's changed. Optimizing your digital profile. Who knows what I talk about when optimizing your digital profile? This is going to be an eye opener for some. Here's what I want you guys to do after this. I want you to go to your computer. I'm going to go ahead and share this. Open up an incognito window. So if you have Chrome, you go over here, you open up a new incognito window, and I want you to Google yourself. You should be the entire page. Now, part of the consumer journey, if you're looking to hire someone, who Googles people every time when you're supposed to meet them? I Google everyone. Google everyone. See, if you Googled me, number one, you get the Google Business My Page. If you don't have one of these, you need to go get it. Just go to Google My Business and I'll walk you through it. But you can see Brett, Matt, Sarah, Keller Williams. It links out to my page. It gives my phone number. It has all the information. I can be found. But then if you look over here, everything is Brett. Everything is Brett. You can't get away from Brett. It's like I'm the only Brett, Matt, Sarah that lives on planet Earth. I actually think I am. But my brother's name's Wayne. And I would have thought that if there's another Wayne, Matt, Sarah on planet Earth. So I'm like, there's got to be another Brett, Matt, Sarah. I haven't found him, and this whole page is me. So the reason why you want to go and Google yourself is, look, who thinks it's important that a seller, that you share your experience and your market knowledge with a seller, that's probably important to them? Anyone think that sellers make a decision based on that? Few people. Look, my first thing that comes on is my LinkedIn profile, which has my whole experience. People want to know if you're a real estate agent and what you do and what experience you have. LinkedIn comes up at first. Realtor.com, Facebook is huge, Twitter, Zillow, the place that everybody loves to hate. Homes.com, this was a new one. This is the business site that's tied into this. Quora, I had a bunch of questions on here. Active Rain, that used to be a really big blog, a really big forum for real estate. I haven't heard a lot about it until now. I didn't even know that this showed up on my first page. And then YouTube. So when you optimize your online profile, you have to go out to these different places, and you need to make sure that your profile is in line. Right? If you go over to each one of these profiles, I have the same picture, I have the same contact information, I have the same bio. The confused mind will always say no, especially if your name's something common like John Smith, Jane Doe. Like, you're not going to know. If someone's going to search you, you need to make, part of being in business and sales in this age is that you have to be able to make yourself to have the ability to be found. And the way that people are looking is online. So let's go into, where's my slide deck? Here I am. Okay, optimize your digital profile. We talked about that a little bit. Make sure that there's there are people that I meet with, real estate agents who claim to be full-time, that when I Google them, nothing shows up. Now, if I was a seller, how much validity do I put behind their experience in selling homes or representing or the market if I can't even find them online? Right? So you need to go through and you need to optimize that. Go Google yourself. Some of the top ones that you need to do is the big ones. Get a Facebook business page, optimize your Facebook profile, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram. Start with those. Realtor.com, Zillow, of course, industry. Start with those, and what you'll find if you build out that profile, use your same email, use your same phone number. Remember, the confused mind always says no. And what you'll find is that probably inside of a 30-day time period, probably faster, if you go and get all those profiles dialed in, and then you go back and Google your name again, you're gonna show up. Go back to here. Be the true market expert. Be the true market. Has there ever been a time where you wonder, there's another agent on the other side and you're just wondering, how did they tie their shoes this morning? Right? I mean, that's happened to me. When I say, so we're talking about being the true market expert. And this ties into not being everything to everybody. being the true market expert is what's going to set you apart. It's going to make it so you're not a commodity. It's going to make it so you're not in that race to zero on who can charge the least amount of commission, right? So the way that you make it to whereas you can get what you're worth, because we're in sales, you charge what you're worth, is to become the specialist, to not be just an average real estate agent. And the way that you become the specialist is that you have experience. If you don't have the experience, you need to have the most market knowledge, or you need to have both. And the only way you can do that is by some of the things that we talked to you about. Know the market. You need to look at your primary market area like you're a member of a gang and it's a gang war. Ben, you and I just had this conversation. I just had like deja vu because you and I just had this conversation. I was talking to Ben last week and I said, man, are there other agents that are doing business in University Park? He said, yes. I said, you need to look at University Park like it's your hood. Like anyone else doing business on there is infringing, they're poaching, and they are poaching. And you need to know everything there is. Ben needs to know University Park like Dale knows Irvine. I think Dale's probably sold most of the houses in Irvine.
Yeah.
So, but when you're the expert, price no longer becomes the primary issue. Not with everybody. Not with everybody. Price is always going to be a component. But if you're going up against an agent, a no-name agent with a no-name brokerage that hasn't sold any houses, and the only thing that they can compete on is lowering price, and then you're showing that you and your company has sold over 1,000 properties in the market area, and then you start showcasing all the stuff that your knowledge, you're the expert, and that changes things. Look, nobody goes and if you get a traffic ticket, people will shop on price for an attorney. You probably represent yourself. If you're facing something more serious, like something more serious with jail time, chances are you're going to start the finding the cheapest person to do something is no longer the primary objective. Price is the main component where they don't see the value in the services that you provide and the experience that you provide. You think there's anybody out there that's going to pre-negotiate a price to the brain surgeon? Now, we're not doing brain surgery, very highly specialized skill, right? But what about accountants? If you got audited, do you think you're going to go and just find the cheapest person to H&R Block to actually work your audit? Or are you going to start interviewing agents or accountants based on, I'm calling Duke. If that ever happens to me, I'm going to call Duke. For those of you who don't know Duke, he's on here somewhere. But price is not always the component. Price is the major component when the services and goods and experience are relatively the same, right? We're with Keller Williams. Someone could be with Coldwell Banker. They've been in 10 years. I've been in 10 years. I've sold over 1,000 properties across 26 states. They've done 10. I've just changed the whole equation. Okay. So when we talk about the value proposition, you got to not only know the value proposition of what we do here at Keller Williams, but you've got to amplify, you've got to put your own flair to the value proposition to separate you from all the other agents, including other Keller Williams agents. You know, I always say on the recruiting calls when I talk with agents is, you know, there's a lot of Keller Williams in the market. They have the same colors, they have the same logo, they have access to the same corporate tools, but that's where the similarities end. Man. Sorry, I think I probably broke out there for a second. Can you guys still hear me? Ben, okay. Who calls me when they know that I'm on a team meeting? Jeez. So be the market expert. Yeah, Gibson, I know that you call me. You'll call me when I'm on the toilet. Number 9, you have to have 3 to 5 different lead generation sources. You have to have 3 to 5 lead generation sources, one of which is your sphere of influence. That's your long game, right? You got to grow your sphere of influence. But what else? What else? You know, maybe expired listings, maybe for sale by owners, maybe non-owner occupied out-of-state owners, right? You've got to have a system in place that generates you a consistent flow of leads from multiple sources. Because if one stops performing, then you need to have 4 others that are continuing to generate you those leads. And that's where the command comes in. Look, we're putting a lot of time and effort and resources, not just from the corporate standpoint, but for this command to help you guys implement this. Is it the best thing since sliced bread? No, you could probably go out and spend a lot more money on something else that you probably won't use everything. Who else has used Top Producer? Right? Anyone else use Top? Man, that thing out of the gate did everything. Like they didn't niche on anything, and now they're not even non-existent. I don't even think anyone uses them anymore. It's a long time, but man, they would do everything, right? It could do everything. But okay, I am going to mute all. Okay. So you have to have 3 to 5 lead generation sources. Number 1, make sure it's your sphere of influence. Work with us on number 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay. And then the last one, number 10, and this is when Dale walked into my office. So I got inspiration for number 10. It's better to be popular than good. Now Dale's good and popular, but here's the thing. There are some really, really great, really, really smart people out there, and that aren't doing any business. And there are a lot of people out there who you wonder how they get up and operate in the morning and do a ton of business. And popular, it's best to be popular and good. But if I had to choose the two, we know that this is a people business, and it's a communication, and it's a conversation business. So, you need to get out there and actually expand your sphere of influence, and that's how you do it. Okay, so that's it. I got 3 minutes left. Dale, you want to say anything? You want to bestow
Yeah, I
anything?
just wanted to add to that 3 to 5 different lead generations. And you're absolutely right. I get business, and it kind of goes to popular too, because all my sources, I send them business. We have a 1.2 million listing in like the Good and the Gill that came from my CPA. I've been sending him clients for years and years. I get business from my dermatologist. Every nurse that comes to work for him, everybody that he knows, he sends me business. We got a $2 million listing from a client of mine that's an author. He wrote about me in his book, and we got a referral from it. So, and then we have a new listing coming up on Tiger that's coming from an agent that's retired. So there are so many other sources of business that you guys need to look at.
Yeah, absolutely. So the nice thing about being in this office is that you do have people that has a whole spread from new to veteran. And if you look at the playbook for all successful real estate agents over time, it's about all 90% the same. The activities are the same. The way that you do it, like all these things that I talked to you guys about, a digital strategy, it works. It's the same strategy that you do in real life, in person. It's just digitized. That's it. Same concepts. So, all right, guys. So it is 12:59. Thank you for Brenda. I hope you guys took something from this. And if you guys need any help on it, reach out, get into the 66-day challenge next week. We'll be launching more training next week to help you guys succeed. All right, get out there.
Thank you, Brett.
Get some houses, get them
Thanks,
sold.
Brett.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you.
Great job.
Thanks, Brett.